do? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Sonny, going to come in here?
Yes, I'm here. Hey, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
What
had to
up,
get
though?
my
How you
son
feeling?
together.
Say it again.
I just had to get my son together. He just popped up.
Oh, okay, okay, no doubt, no doubt. Well, welcome to tonight's show, and got a great show lined up for you guys. Sorry, I'm not in my usual camera layout. My laptop actually is pretty much dead, so I had to jump on from the phone. So just making do, making use of the technology, making use of what I got. But we're going to have a great show nonetheless. Tonight, we're going to be starting a series that we're doing for the next few weeks called Healthy You. So, we're going to be talking about different types of health things that we want to focus on, talk about, the reason why we are discussing them, the things that you can do to help those things, or the places you can go to seek help when you don't know what to do. So, we're going to be doing that. Tonight, we're going to be talking about mental health. And I think the focus is going to be more on doing a mental health checkup in terms of how are you doing, how are you feeling, and what can you do to make yourself feel better. So we're going to talk about that tonight. In the meantime, Sonny, how's your weekend going? How did your weekend go?
Well, my weekend was very, very long. Had a lot going on with a lot of different people, including a funeral. So it was a lot of stuff happening this
Yeah.
weekend. So happy to end the weekend on a better note. Um, Work week has been today was okay, so that's good.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is, just from having a busy, hectic, as well as emotional weekend like that, or even a week or two, can definitely weigh heavy on people. So we definitely want to go back to that later. Talk about that. Talk about things people can do to kind of get through those humps, get through those trying times, and be able to push through, and get back to hopefully some sense of normality. Um, but yeah, same thing for me. It's been a busy weekend. Been busy last couple of weeks, really. I mean, between dealing with trying to get stuff situated for my kids, trying to get my own stuff situated with those stuff going on at the crib, and just like you said, just keeping up with family stuff. It's just been you know tough. So just definitely glad to be pretty much, on the back end of that. Just finished getting my daughter back on the road. Got
Yeah,
her with her car and everything, and then just pretty much got stuff straight at the crib. I had a bunch, not bunch, I had a couple big things happen with stuff in my house, and got all that fixed up, and back to normal. So it's definitely a lot less stressful time.
yeah. It's. I think it's been a week, a couple of last couple of weeks for the GFT radio crew. We had a lot going on.
Oh yeah, between illnesses and family stuff and everything else, yeah, it's been
Yeah,
one of those months.
I think it's definitely like this. And when we even though I said I wanted like let's do a lighter one, but this actually made perfect sense
Yeah.
because of with everything that's been going on. It's like, hey, how are you guys doing? Are you okay? Like
Mhm.
those types of things.
Right, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so let's get started. The biggest thing I wanted to start off with was how do you recognize when you're not at your peak or not at your 100% when it comes to just from a mental health standpoint, like just from your own, not even just mental health, like you're we were talking about mental health checkup, we're talking about like how do you feel when you feel like stressed, or when you feel like you're not in the zone like you normally are, like what are some of the telltale signs for you?
For me, I sleep. Either it's one of two things: either I sleep too much, or I'm my cousin calls me a vampire because she's like, "When do you sleep?" And it's crazy because I do, but I call it intermittent sleep.
Mm,
It's very rare that I will sleep through the entire night.
right.
So for me, it's either I'm tired all the time, or I'm taking like today I took several cat naps. Like I haven't had like a good sleep. I think the other night I probably slept probably the longest I have, like through the entire night. It's been a while since I've actually done that. And it's like not major stress, but like, and it's funny because one of my therapists said, when my previous therapist said you can't sleep, your problems away. And I said, but that's pretty much how I feel. Like I'll be tired. So for me, I intermittent sleep or sleep entirely too much. And that's like I'm doing a combination of both now. Like I'll sleep, like I can fall asleep at the drop of a dime. Like I had to take the other day, I took a nap before I even started work.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, and that's because my son the bus comes early, so I took a nap from the time he left to the time it was starting for me to work. Then when I got done work, I took a nap again. Mm-hmm. And then throughout the night, I was intermittent sleeping.
Gotcha.
So it's like that.
So Dame, how you doing, Dame? What's going on with you, sir?
Hey, Dame.
What's going on, Sonny? What's up, Styles?
So right now we're talking about ways that you can tell when you're not at your, let's say 100%, when you're stressed, when you're having mental, your mental clarity isn't all the way there, when you're feeling like, you need a break, that kind of thing. What are some of the telltale signs for you that you're at that point?
Well, seeing I have young kids at a later age in my life, I can't tell for the last 7 years. So, I think like Sonny said, sleep, lots of sleep, lots of napping. Like, just woke up 15, 20 minutes ago. It's time for that other power nap right now. Let's see if I can get the sleep off me. No, I'm not as energetic, and I'm not doing the things that bring me joy. Like, I just find myself just there. Just you're not doing nothing, just there. Oh, cleaning. Sometimes extra cleaning. That extra deep grind. Like, oh wait, let me get in so I can get in this crack, this little thing right here. Clean out a little bit more. Get a little bit extra going on there.
Right. That's a good point. I like how you mentioned not doing the things that normally bring you joy. That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even recognize that a lot of times. Like a lot of people, like what Sonny mentioned, I think a lot of us go through that. Sometimes we don't realize it. So it's good Sonny realizes that. I know a lot of times we don't realize that, but not doing the things that normally bring you joy, that's huge, because a lot of times people sometimes they punish themselves because they think like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do fun stuff, or I don't have time to do relaxing stuff because I'm too busy to be doing that. And they don't realize they're really punishing themselves. What up, Smooth?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
And good. So right now we're talking about how can you tell when you're in need of a mental break, when you know you're stressed out, or when you know you're not at 100%. What are some of the telltale signs for you?
Oh man, it's quite a few. One of the major ones is I'm real irritable. So it's like anything, the smallest thing irritates me.
Short on people,
and I know,
short with people too.
Yeah. Like I'm real irritable. I get frustrated quickly, like with tasks. Like I don't really have time. Like when I know I'm in need of a mental break, I don't have time for I'm not really paying attention to details, which is something I do. The devil is in the details. So I always like to pay attention to detail. But I know when I need that mental break, I'm skipping details. So that's when I know I need to just step away. Sometimes a nap will help, or what have you. And then sometimes physically like I feel it in my shoulders. Like I really feel it in my shoulders and my neck. And sometimes even when y'all see me doing the show, y'all might see me going like this a lot. You feel me? That's that's that tension that builds up. You feel me?
Yeah, my neck
there.
shut down on me when I had a stiff neck, and my doctor said it was stress related. I've never had one, and I was like, really, it was like the worst one she saw. She was like, "Well, did you sleep wrong?" And I'm like, no. And she was trying to figure out how. And they basically said it was probably stress because, and it like,
Yeah,
must
it makes me want to go lay down. Like, so that's how I know when I'm in need of a mental break.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes people don't realize they're depressed or in a mental state until they're right in the thick of it or coming out of it. Like, wait, I didn't do this because I was in there. I didn't realize it because I'm just going through the motions of life. And sometimes, like you said, Will, about punishing yourself, sometimes they don't even know they're punishing themselves. Sometimes subconsciously, them just not wanting to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we're gonna get to. I don't know where you was about to go to, Willie. But to those of us who've dealt with depression for a long, long time, see, because what Dame just brought up a great point. Like sometimes when I first realized I was going through depression, I was already deep in it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So I didn't recognize the signs. I was just going through the motions. So over the years, I've noticed how to peep it. Because that's the crazy thing. I was having a conversation with Al, who be on the who do the sports show with us, friends of the show. I had a conversation with him years ago, and I was like, because one of our other friends was dealing with it, and I was trying to explain to him it's more than just being sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Sometimes you can't even explain it. You feel me? And sometimes it just hits you. You could be happy,
I don't think it needs
smiling.
to be explained to though. And that's the hardest part. Asking somebody to explain why you're depressed.
Well, sometimes in certain situations you need to it depends on the situation, because it ain't like I'm explaining to you why I'm depressed. Is if somebody don't know the signs, if somebody don't understand what depression is, you have to explain what depression is doing, because some people don't experience it. You feel me? They never experience.
I've never gone through it. So it's definitely something that's foreign for me. Like you said, like what I used to think of it was that it was just a person sitting around sad all day. And then as they revealed more of some of the not symptoms, but like how people act when they're depressed. Like the more I started seeing those kind of things and seeing that people like Robin Williams was, committing suicide and stuff. And they were like, oh, well, he had depression. And I'm like, wow, like he was seem happy all the time. I was like, yeah, you don't seem sad all the time. You're going through something emotional, sometimes physical, sometimes it could just be how you react to things. And I'm like, wow, because I didn't understand that. It didn't occur to me that there could be something else other than that,
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be a chemical imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be strictly scientific. Like depression comes in so many ways, and it's like it's hard, and like Willie, you said, it affects so many people so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and Sonny both can be depressed at the same time, extremely depressed, and express it so like different ends of the spectrum differently, and you can never tell,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was for me. It was like to your point, I wasn't really understanding what it was until I went to the first therapist. And then she was like, well, what do you do when you feel stressed? And I kept saying I would go to sleep because that's the only way I didn't feel how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, that's a sign of depression. So me not outwardly putting it out to you or being sad, but just being asleep because I didn't want to deal with whatever it was going on is a sign of depression. But like, if you don't know it, you won't even acknowledge it at that point. And it's so much. We just had a conversation about postpartum. And we were talking about how women go through it and how bad they can get it. And also how men go through it. And they don't even realize that they're going through postpartum because it's initially associated with the female being pregnant or having a baby. And it's always, I tell people, it's always you have to not always assume, because I saw the post one day on Facebook and they were talking about this one guy, Rob Wade. And it was like, he's always depressed in his music. He's always got sad songs. Hey, listen to him. He's depressing. And I said, well, at least he's getting it out. Because he's dealing with something. This is his music is how he chooses to deal with it.
Right.
And yeah, you may not appreciate it at the time that it's doing, but then again, like I said, you may not understand it because you haven't dealt with that. But to have that outlet, and for him to be able to have that outlet and express whatever he's going through and how he feels, it may sound depressing to a regular person. Oh, he always sad and always miserable. No, he's going through shit and he's working through it by getting it out. Would you rather him do it that way? Or would you rather him go kill himself and then say he couldn't talk to nobody?
Right.
Like, so, but this is what people, and I said that on the status. I said, this is what people go through. Because when they want to say, I'm sad, they can't do it because somebody's upset about it. It's going to bother somebody that you're always sad. I don't want to hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than immediately say, are you okay? And actually talking to them. But if they kill themselves, oh, I didn't know they were going through it. No, they've been posting all week or all month long this, and you just was keying it. And sometimes it's innocent, right?
Right.
But I just tell people to be very careful with that because
it
might not be a good day for that person. And you said something that just was left field and they took it the wrong way.
Yeah. But let me get back to what Smooth was saying. I'm sorry, Smooth. What you wanted to go into the topic of just about the depression, or was it about just the signs, seeing different signs of different things? Oh, I think you might be muted.
My bad. As far as like those of us who have dealt with it over a period of time, like Dane brought up a good point about those like initial, like when you first get, or those who just going through it. But those of us who've been experiencing it for a long time, it's like we become that how the meme go, that tough friend that you need to check up on.
Oh, right.
You feel me? Because it's like we endure it. So you'll have some people who, like I can be depressed, right? But I can still, if Hank need help, I can still be there for Hank, give Hank advice and all that, as if I'm not depressed myself. You understand? And it's like those the times where some people will get overlooked, and we got to be aware of like dumping our garbage on people, like dumping whatever we going through on people. So I guess my question was really is like to Sonny or to Dame, or I don't know if Hank ever experienced it, because Willie, you say you haven't, and I know a lot of people who haven't as well. I know a lot of people who haven't. For those of us who have dealt with it for a while, how do y'all recognize? Do you recognize it immediately still, or does it still catch you off guard at times?
My bad, I'm late. What are we talking about? What are we recognizing?
Depression.
Okay, copy.
You talking about for other people?
No, for you.
Oh, I recognize it immediately. Like I know for me, I have like I get to the point where one thing can trigger me to because on top of that I'm an overthinker. So it's like one thing can have me in a funk. I call it a funk. It's depression, but for me, I'd say for my mind, it's a funk. I get into that little rut and I can't get out, and I'm sleeping crazy and stuff like that. And then I'm more of I won't say anything to anybody because, like I said, I go to therapy every 2 weeks. So I talk about stuff, but I don't really get into the meat and potatoes of everything that I'm feeling, because I know that no matter if the person is listening to hear me and try to understand, they're not going to understand to an extent. And I don't want to be talking wastefully, if that makes sense, especially when it comes to that, because I need help. I need to be engaged to figure out how not to keep doing this, because like I said, for me, it's a spiral. It starts off with one thing, then I'm thinking about a multiple of other things, and now I'm like into the point where I can't stop crying, or I'm just so in this pit that I can't get out of. So I can't talk to you. I have to
Dang.
talk to this person.
All right, Dane, when do you know?
When I'm in the middle of it, I realize that I haven't done this in a while, or my mental isn't there. Like I don't remember certain things. Like it's hard for me to concentrate. Uh, my work habits start slipping, like detail. Like man, I'm really slipping. I forgot this, and like this rapid fire, just like stuff just keep falling apart around me. I'm like, yeah, something must be wrong. That's how I know I need to. I'm in the thick of it. But what Sonny was saying about triggers, sometimes you don't know what triggers it. Like sometimes it could be seasonal, could be a death of a loved one, past, holiday season. You miss that person, a person's birthday, some special moment could be a trigger. And sometimes you don't realize that you're missing that person and made you depressed all at the same time. You just like sometimes it compounds upon each other of just losing that loved one.
Hank, have you ever experienced it?
All right, so I gotta go with kind of a yes and a no. Last year was probably the worst year of my life. It's funny because they did the Fresh Prince review with me. They did an episode that I just listened to on Life Be Life, and it was talking about like the helper type situation. The Strong Friend, I believe, was the name of the episode. And I text Nah, I've literally never had one person in my life call me and ask me like, how you doing? I'm always the one getting the phone call. Like I said this thing last week, 2 weeks ago, I'm the youngest of the grandkids, but the oldest of the grandkids calls me for life advice. I'm not the oldest, but I'm the big brother to all of the situations. Somebody's having trouble, they call me. Somebody needs help with a bill, they're calling me. Somebody needs help, whatever. Excuse me, my throat a little fucked up. They calling me. My dad and my uncle, who was like the two guys of the family, passed within like a year of each other, like October and September. So that void kind of had to be filled, and nobody else was looking to fill that void. So somebody got to be there to answer them phone calls. Somebody got to go be there to talk to the nephew, the little cousin, or whatever. But I kind of got that from my mom because it's just what she does. She's the one that everybody calls. So when you have your own situations, and like Sonny was just saying, she knows she had an outlet. If she's not gonna give it to me, Smooth, or Dame, like she got an outlet because she knows she's gonna get the therapy and be able to talk about whatever that situation is. I had so many different situations, and it's like I know I ain't got nobody to talk to about this shit, so just fuck it. I'll figure out a way to deal with it. And my problem there just be like I'm a control freak. No problem admitting it. There's a couple of things I have no problem admitting. I'm a control freak and a mama's boy. I will never be shamed for either one of those things. But when I'm in a situation and I can't control it, I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. I can't be around this shit because this shit is gonna fuck me up because I don't like not being able to control shit. That's why I always say I'm a ball dominant guard, top of the key. I will make sure we run the best play possible. I put everybody in the best position. But if I can't run this play, I don't even want to be on the field. So I would say, like Sonny said, it's kind of that, but you probably don't even call it that. You just call it something else. But I have, like I said, last year, worst year of my life.
Me, I fully understand. Me, I'm gonna be honest. After all these years, I still don't know when. It's like it could be. Sometimes I can realize it when it's over. You ever know you? It's like sometimes you don't know you in so much pain until you get relief, and you be like, "Damn, I ain't realized." You feel me? I was in that much pain. It's like when you sleeping on your arm.
Every day.
Yeah, it's like when you sleeping on your arm. It ain't till you wake up and start moving till you realize, damn, this shit numb. My shit was numb. You feel me? And like sometimes that's the same thing I go through. It's like sometimes I don't know it until it's over. You feel me? And then sometimes I be right in the midst of the storm and it's like, oh shit. You feel me? And then sometimes I peep it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see where this is going. I see where this is headed. You know what I mean? Take your precautions, take your steps, do your breathing, do your reading,
But I can't
get
even
yourself
do
out
that.
of it
It's just
before.
once I catch it, it's gone. It's whatever's happening, it's gonna happen. It's happening.
And see, you know what I mean?
Like
So
at least you can try to get yourself out of it. I'd be like, by the time, like I said, I will recognize it, and I'll be going there after that. Like, let me.
you know why? Because I agree. Something 50 Cent said, and it's related to this topic. He was talking about depression, and he was like, people who go through he was like, depression is considered a luxury. He was like, and I know he didn't fully understand what he was saying, but I got what the point he was trying to make. He was like, because for the rest of us, we got to get to it. Things got to get done. We don't, because his concept of depression is like what most people concept of depression is. Oh, I'm sitting in the house, I'm sitting in the corner, just whining. Ooh, woe is me. To where it's like, no, we still getting to it too. You feel me? We still
Right.
getting to it
I think
through
sometimes we
all the
get hyper
struggle.
focused too.
So I would have to venture to guess that for the most functional people who go through that is that not having it is the luxury, not going through, because you, like you said, you got to get to it, and you got this basically this monkey on your back. I think I saw a commercial like that too. I don't know if it had to do with depression, but it had to do with a mental health situation where they were like, yeah, it's like having this monkey on your back, literally, like just, something that you have to deal with, something you got to push through, but you also got to push through everything else at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, like I couldn't imagine
Sometimes you
having
can
to.
hyper focus. Like for me, going to work is a distraction. Like I feel like sometimes you get to a state of you're functioning and you're on autopilot in a sense.
Mhm.
You're doing your normal routines to get up every day to go to work and do what you're supposed to do and come home, deal with the kids and function in everyday life. You're doing that while in the midst of this chaos that's inside of you. You're just not outwardly projecting it, and then you're waiting till most of us do. Well, some of us, if we can do it, we can hold off until we're by ourselves. But I think that some people, like I know it's been times where I can focus on everyday life, and you would think nothing's wrong with me, but I'm drowning in a sense.
So my question is then, from a standpoint of supports or either support or understanding, leaning more towards the support side, seeing that like Sonny and Dame, both of you kind of usually notice, going through things at the beginning of it, or at least by the middle. Do you feel like that you seek out support, or that you have people that understand what you're going through, or do you still feel kind of like in this box where nobody sees you or sees what you're going through? Like, how do you feel about what the external portion of it?
I think it depends. Like for me, I don't really seek stuff. I did have somebody take offense to what I was going through. Like they thought it was them. And I had to have a conversation like, it's not about you. So if I post on social media and I'm posting quotes and I'm going through a depressive state, and my posts are you're strong and blah blah blah, like you don't have to deal with this or whatever it is that I'm posting. I had somebody basically say, well, why you always posting like you mad at me? I'm like, I'm not. This has nothing to do with you. Like, absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just me. Like, I'm a quote person. I like quotes. If I see a quote, I'm going to share it if I like it. And if it's relative to something that I either had a conversation about or something like that, it's not personalized. So if you come around me and I'm sad, which, like I said, for me, I started to withdraw because now you're saying I'm sad and I'm around people. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm a Debbie Downer. So I have to, like, to some extent you understand, but you don't, because now she's always sad. She's always in her room. She's always this, and this. And it's like, I'm taking myself out of the situation because I don't want to be seen as this way. I don't want to say weak, but I don't want to be seen as this person that's always sad or miserable. And it's like, you didn't make me mad. My mood, because I have to catch, like, I like to take myself out of the situation. So now you burn me all the time, and now I withdraw from you. Well, what did I do? It's not you. I'm just
Mhm.
over here minding my business. I'm working through something. Like, I feel like I should have to explain it to you if I already told you that I'm in therapy and I'm battling depression and anxiety and PTSD. Like, I can't keep coddling you, making sure you're okay. Like, if I step away, let me step away.
Right.
I'm gonna come back, but it's not necessarily you that made me step away. So for me, I don't want to go to you. I want to go talk to who I need to talk to and deal with what I need to deal with, and then come back and be a friend to you and be hanging out with you like we normally were. But
Yeah. So I think I feel like I don't know if there's a word for that. I mean, I used to think it was like being codependent, but it's not really quite codependency from a I would say a classical standpoint, but it's a similar thing, I think, because I know I've gone through that where I was, you know, with somebody and I had a friend that was like that too, where they were going through those kind of ups and downs, and because of either the things that they were saying, and this is like pre-social media, or it wasn't, social media wasn't their thing for how they expressed it, but it's still there's certain things that you say or certain things that you're doing, and I was taking it personally. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't, and they would tell me, "Oh, I'm just going through something." It still feels personal. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I think part of it is like not, like you said, still not being able to fully understand what that person is going through, not being able to fully grasp that because of what they are doing or how they're doing it, it's not me, it's them. But believe me, a lot of times what it is, it's the feeling of how you're either how you're being treated or how you're perceived you're being treated. Because like for me, it was like more of a, I feel like, you're withdrawing from me, or you're, doing this, even though they would say, "Oh no, I just don't feel that great today," or "I feel like, I'm not, in a good state of mind," or I'm whatever the case may be, however they were expressing it. And it was, and like I said, it was like a thing for me where it was like I just felt like I was being rejected, or I felt like I was being, put upon sometimes, because one of the persons, they would like do the like Smooth was saying earlier about when when you get stressed, they would get frustrated, they would be short. And for me it felt like not abuse, but it felt like
a
like
personal
man,
attack.
like yeah. And it just didn't feel good. So it took me a long time to realize, like, okay, well, that really was just what they was going through and how they dealt with it. But I think that's also your test for yourself is like, can I be in a situation like that, or can I deal with that situation? Because then it's like, your own ego gets put in check of, how much can you take, or how much can you deal with, or how much can you empathize? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I know at the time, being young, being, not understanding a lot of things that was going on, I definitely didn't have the level of empathy that I have now. You know what I'm saying? Like now I kind
And
of
that's
understand a little bit more, and I can kind of take a step back and be like, okay, give you some time, give you some space. But back then it was just like, nah, this feels crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely could see how that happens with a lot of people.
The
and that goes
worst
to my point earlier.
situation.
Oh, go ahead, Dane. My bad.
No, you good. No, the worst situation during that time is I was raised to be a people pleaser. So,
Mm.
you can't show weakness or show something's wrong within your life, your house. You have to go about your business, like show everybody, hey, I'm doing great. When secretly you might be dying inside. Then when you get
Mhm.
home or wherever your situation is at, um, when you try to let yourself go, you can't show that weakness either. Be like, well, you was fine when you was outside, you was when I was forced to put on a show. It's like you have to put, once you're institutionalized, or you're brought up to a certain point to just put on a show at all times. You cannot be depressed. You can't show your depression. You can't show your weakness or anything that's wrong. Nobody needs to know what's going on in his household. It is kind of hard to get away from that. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, so you're conditioned to not show that you're depressed, or just keep going on, keep pushing, because life goes on. You know, the world's not gonna stop around you because you're depressed or you're sick or whatever. You gotta keep pushing, which is brought up. It's true, but you know, you gotta give me some leeway. You gotta give me somewhere to relieve, get this pressure off me. Get this monkey off my back. As we were saying earlier, because this is, being conditioned this way is not fun. Because it's kind of hard to get out that condition after 20 plus years, going on 30.
Absolutely, because you build habits. So you build habits to cope, and that's all we are as humans. At the end of the day, we are our habits. So when we build those habits to cope, it's hard to break those habits. But to something to the point about what Willie, that's why I'm happy Willie and Hype on here. Hype said he not sure or he haven't really dealt with it. Willie said he flat out he hasn't dealt with it at all. And that's why I was saying to Sonny earlier, sometimes in certain situations you have to explain if you're going through it. See, my outlet to answer your point, your question, Willie, was writing early on. So through my poetry is how I vented, how I released. You feel me? Because I could be anything and I could say anything and I could be as vulgar as I want. You understand? Right. And I could put it in a way because I'm good with words to where you wouldn't, Sonny read my especially my earlier poetry that I used to post. It was real angry, but it was wrote. I read it in a way to where it was, you can feel it. You can feel the anger, but you love the way it was written. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Part. Oh yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So that was my original from a child. That was my original outlet. So as I grew and I understand, and I came to the understanding, people, and I'm gonna use you. I'm not saying this, Willie. I'm just gonna use you as an example. There were people who like Willie at the time when we were younger, who just didn't understand. They didn't get it. So when we go on them episodes, when we have our episodes of depression or bouts with depression, and sometimes we're venting. You feel me? So the vent isn't really towards you, but you're the closest to me. Mm-hmm. So that's why you feel it's personal. You feel me? But it has nothing to do with you. It's all internal. But I got to get it out. And since you're the closest to me, it's going to hit you first. You know what I mean? So sometimes, that's why I wish Al was on. I should have told him about this show. Al could tell you, and Kiss could tell you, as I got older, I used to let them know. Like, yo, y'all might not hear from me for a while. I'm good, but I got to get my, I got to take care of business. So I never really wanted to explain to people what I was going through. I dealt with it on my own. You feel me? So at first it seemed as if I withdrew, but it wasn't necessarily withdrawing. It's like I don't want to be a burden on anybody. You feel me? So, and I don't want anybody to be offended. So like I know I can get out of it. I just have to deal with it. I know I'm not suicidal, so you don't have to worry about me killing myself or nothing like that. It's that I just need space. You feel me? Because I know you're not built to deal with this situation, because that's just going to make me feel worse and it's going to cause conflict between me and you. So let me take a step back. I'll catch up with y'all. We'll catch up with each other. Love is love. But that's how I used to vent. And I mean, that's how I used to get my release off. Just taking a step back away from everybody and solely focus on me. That's why I always say the scariest, that's where that comes from. The scariest place is in the mirror, because that's where I directly go to. Because now I got to face my flaws, face my shortcomings. Why this relationship work? Why this didn't, what are you doing wrong? This is what I'm saying to me in the mirror. It's like, get it together. And it's almost, I don't know if you heard of David Goggins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm
sort of like David Goggins. You feel me? Because I'll get in that mirror, and I guess my dad trained me a certain way. So some people it could be cruel, but my dad, he was vicious sometimes with how he would talk to me, because he was trying to, feel tough skin. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like this world ain't fair. You know what I mean? That was his, but don't expect fairness. That's something where pigs is at. That's what a fair. That's what he used to always say. This
Fair is
shit
a
ain't
place where they
fair.
judge pigs.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
Tell
that.
my
feel me?
daughter that all the time.
Yep. He's like, this is this. So he's like, you got to get out of that. You feel me? You ain't everything not gonna go your way. You could do everything right and everything could go wrong on you. It is what it is. You got to keep going. So when I get in that mirror, you know, I talk to myself like like he used to talk to me sometimes, whether right or wrong. Stop being a pussy. Now I mean, man, the fuck up. Do what the fuck you gotta do. Stop being a bitch. You know what I mean? Get it together. You don't got time to be sitting here pissing and moaning. That works for me. I don't advise that for everybody else, but that's what works for me. You feel me? And that's how I lock in.
Let
But it's
me
funny because like I grew up in a household where you really didn't get to express yourself. And that's why I said much like Smooth, I did it through poetry too, vented a lot. As an adult, I reciprocated. I can't talk to you because you're not going to understand it. You don't even care.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm coming from. So like I said, when I withdraw, for me, I feel like if I tell you that I'm like, for the most people that are around me, you guys included, know that I've been battling depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So I'm not going to sit there and explain it to you guys all the time. Now, the people that are in my immediate comfort zone, I know they feel away when I walk off and be in my room. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm gonna be in here all day. I'm not gonna be bothered. And it's so I won't lash out. It's so how I'm feeling. I could be super emotional or super bitchy and irritable, like Smooth said. So without bringing that to you, I'm withdrawing. But then, like to the point of me withdrawing is sometimes problematic because then you feel like I don't want to be around you when I'm always around you. And it's like, no, like I said, I had to explain that this isn't about you. This is not I don't feel like I need to keep every day reassuring you that I don't have an issue with you. Like I'm telling you, like the fact that I withdrew and was in my room sleeping and being in my own little bubble for a couple of days should be a smoke signal that I'm just going through something and it's not personal to you. And like I said, for me, it's draining to try to explain that to you all the time because like mine could go like I could be dealing with it like for this weekend. I was there for somebody, but I was still dealing with what I was dealing with. So at some points I was in my room, but then I was available for when that person needed me. But then at the same time I was to myself. And it looks conflicting because yeah, I'm out here doing one thing, and next now I'm back in here introverting and it seems conflicting, but like let me be me
Right.
because that's the only way I know how to be. Like I can't change it to be a certain way. Like I'll apologize, like and to an extent, but like you kind of know, like you've been around me long to know to kind of know the signals that I'm just in that way and I need that time.
Right, for sure.
let me
Hype, what
get
were you
in real
about to
quick.
say?
The loudest voice you won't ever have is the one that's in your head.
Mhm.
And that's one of those things that you can't get over is that voice that's in your head. That voice can be a positive, that voice can be a negative. Uh Also the thing that you have to have around you is the thing that we constantly keep getting to is what's going on in here and the understanding of the people around you of the situation. If you never try to explain the situation to them, though, you can't then blame them for not understanding what the situation is. So that's kind of on you, and that's not on them for you not knowing how to express it. You can't tell me that I can't handle it if you never gave it to me to handle. Now, if I gave it to you on several occasions to handle and you fumbled it, then copy. Now I know I can't bring this to you, but you have to
And
make that. Go ahead.
no, I don't want to say, and to piggyback on what you said, sometimes the loudest voice is in your head. Sometimes it's silence because sometimes it's just an emotion. You can't figure out what.
Silence can be extremely loud though in the wrong cases.
Definitely,
We
yes.
doing a
And
podcast, and if we have 2 seconds of silence and you listening to this shit in audio, you going, "What the fuck happened?" That silence is loud.
yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
very definitely.
that's also
Yeah.
a thing. But also something that I think Dane might have touched on this, and then this was kind of leading into what Smooth was saying, is the way you was brought up with shit. Once you get to be a parent and you hit a certain age and stage, and you go like, "Well, shit, my mom and my dad really didn't know every fucking thing." Because I'm kind of thinking that I was supposed to just have this shit figured out once I got to a certain point, and it kind of never happened. So you kind of understand that like they was just winging some of this shit. So you can't always take everything that you got as a child and run with it for the rest of your life. You got to be paying attention to getting bits and pieces. I'm not saying that to attack what you were saying. What I'm
No,
saying
yeah,
is
I
like
got you.
you gotta you gotta understand that there's bits and pieces that you will take from any and every situation and find a way for you to adjust to what the situation is now. The situation might have been that back in 91 when that was what it called for, but that ain't what it called for no more. And I got to be able to be versatile in my game to be able to switch this shit up and realize that, like you said, was we was all taught that don't be showing no emotions and don't be out here telling people about your problems and all of that type of shit. But then you also understand that voice in your head keeps going and you go like, I got to get this shit out because this shit is not healthy for me. The person, like Sonny said, you never even knew this motherfucker was gonna kill themselves, but you don't know what was going on in their head because one, they didn't trust you to handle that situation, and two, they never got it out. So you can't. You always got to be just vulnerable enough to be You got to be vulnerable enough to try to let somebody in on that shit. And if you never do, then that's on you. Then again, you go like Smooth said, that problem becomes in the mirror. That problem is not everybody else because you're going to be the common denominator. And if you never gave it, you can't expect nobody to receive it.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Sure.
let me. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
No, I was going to ask a question. Let's get off depression because I feel like that's the that's worst case scenario in mental health. Mental health is more than just depression,
Yeah.
stress, or what have you. Or you could be going through a sad time, losing a loved one, whatever the situation may be. How
That was it.
would you advise someone to help you cope? So say if you lost somebody, Willie, or you just stressed out from work or whatever, what would be the best way for us to help you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't get just to mention this earlier. We were talking about, what some of our like signs are, and I was going to mention that, the problem I have, especially with stress, is that I don't really recognize that I'm stressed out until I'm pretty much done with being stressed out. You know what I'm saying? I'll start recognizing what was going wrong or what was going different during that time. Like I think Dane was mentioning, feeling like things aren't like you're not focused on the things that you normally are focused on, or that you're not as detailed about certain things. Somebody else mentioned not being as uh, I guess like basically like oh no, I think that was you, Smooth. You said something about being as detail oriented, but you're also like focused in. So and I think Dan was saying about the things are falling apart, right? So I'll recognize that later, like dang, like I knew while it was falling apart that it was falling apart, but I didn't know why it was falling apart. I'm thinking it's just falling apart because it's falling apart, but I also don't realize that it's because I'm not paying attention to the details, or that I'm skipping over things because I'm just trying to get it done and I'm frustrated, and so it all culminates with me at the end looking back, like retrospecting, like, oh, dang, you know what? I probably was stressed out during that time, or I was probably, under too much pressure, under too much stress to really, get things done the way I usually do. So I usually don't recognize it when it's creeping in, when it's happening. It's usually like when I'm just about done with it, or I might start to recognize it once things start going right. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm kind of in a wave where, like when I was at this one job where, stress was like a wave. It would be like up one day, down the next day, up for 3-4 days, down again for a week, up again. You know what I'm saying? So it would be like recognizing what was basically the best way to get help, to ask for help. And that's why I was asking the question about support and feeling understood, because I think a lot of times, I don't know how it works for depression, but I know for stress, a lot of times it's just us not seeking help. It's just not seeking people understand what we're going through, because we feel like, you know, it's busy or there's too much to do or whatever. And if it's too much to do, and we're at work, a lot of us, I would venture to say 60, 70, 80% of us will feel like I just got to deal with it, right? Like, oh, that's just job. That's just how the job works. Instead of realizing that sometimes it is okay to ask for help, or it is okay to say, hey, we got too much of a workload and not enough manpower, or the things that I'm responsible for don't line up with the time I got to do it in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest issue, is that a lot of times we're struggling internally to justify why we're going through the stresses that we're going through, versus putting an external and saying, hey, maybe I need to talk to somebody and say, hey, what am I doing wrong here? You seem to be getting such and such done in this time, or last week I was able to do X, Y, Z, but now this week I'm not getting it done. Maybe give me some tips. Maybe, just asking for help. It doesn't have to be you asking for somebody to help you, but maybe just asking for somebody on the outside looking in to see what maybe you're doing wrong, or see what maybe is going wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, for me, one of the things is when I know that I'm going through something, or I know that I'm stressed out, it's like I just gotta take the initiative to say, hey, or like you said, if somebody asks me like, hey, everything good, like, and not internalizing it, but letting it be externalized. No, I don't think so. Like, no, I think I probably need to figure something else out, or I need to be more conscious of what's not going right.
All right.
I think for me personally, I don't really stress about shit unless I can't control the situation. That's why I said I try never to put myself in situations that I can't control, because I don't like shit being outside of my control, because I don't think that people pay attention to all of the details or do all of the big picture thinking that you have to do if you're going to be in a situation that lead and guide other people. I don't think people care enough. Like, I don't think they're going to look at it as much as I will. I got trust issues is another thing. I ain't got no problem admitting that I have them. So in most situations, it kind of just be like you were saying too, like your dad would always tell you, you got the shit, deal with it. That's why I'm always like talking about death does nothing to me, because I got that understanding as a kid that we got a date to come in, we got a date to go out. You could not like how the person goes out. You could not like the amount of time that they got before they went out, but it is what it is, and ain't nothing you can do about it. So shit like that I can't control, and I know that there's no way to control it. It rolls right off my back. I might be mad today or tomorrow, but a couple of days I'm good, just because it is what it is. Just kind of just like the understanding that I got with it. So most things like don't stress me at all, unless it's just like I said, it's just like it's more so like a financial thing where you just can't control what that outcome gonna be. Like, one of those things about all of the different businesses that I got, that the shit that I don't like about them is that they all dependent upon somebody calling you about a jacket or a jersey or a cleaning job or whatever it is, and it's not under your control. You could be the best motherfucker at cleaning in the world, but if ain't nobody calling you, this shit don't matter. You make the best jackets in the world, ain't nobody calling you for one, this shit don't matter. So that's always just my thing right there is go ahead,
So
buddy.
I got a quick question for you, Hank, because I know for a long time I always felt like I was never stressed out about anything. I always felt like I had everything either in control, or if I didn't have it in control, I felt like it was like, oh, I can't control it, so no big deal. Do you feel that way because you have you've gotten into a rhythm of everything, not everything, but for the most part, you have most things in control, or do you now have a sense of like, you know what, I'm not stressed because I just know we're going to go through a downturn, and I'll just deal with the downturn. And if it gets better, great. If it doesn't, then I know that I just need to pivot. Like, are you constantly pivoting, or do you just feel like you just have everything kind of basically lined up?
I would just say I never put myself in situations that I can't control, because, like I said, I
Okay,
don't like
so
not
so yeah,
having the
so
control.
so I mean, this is probably a bigger topic for another day. But I know, and not to say this you're doing this, but I know I was doing that for a minute for certain things, and I started to realize that sometimes I felt like I was avoiding certain things because I felt like I couldn't control the outcome. So I would say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. And do you ever find yourself avoiding things that you may later go, dang, I wish I would have really did that if I'd have really just figured out a way to control it, or to figure out a way to be comfortable with it, rather not control it, but they'll figure out a way to be comfortable with it. Do you ever find yourself stepping back later and going, dang, I think I could have did that if I had figured out a strategy for making myself comfortable with it?
I would say no, because 9 times out of 10, before I jump into something, I'm going to do the homework on the situation. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to. You can't obviously predict what the future going to be,
No,
so it's
yeah.
not like you're going to be able to run the test result and then go, oh, okay, I know it's going to work, or I know it's not going to work. But I know in most situations, like I was, so my
Not to
situation
cut you off,
was.
bro. Not to cut you off. I want to ask a direct question, bro.
Go
Because
ahead.
I fuck with you. And I think this is what Willie is alluding to as well. Do you think your control issues may be holding you back?
Not at
Yeah,
all.
that's what I mean.
You don't think
The
that?
reason why.
Because
The reason
you
why.
do realize that you can't control everything, bro. And we had this similar conversation before, to where I was mentioning, because I'm a control freak too. Like, I'm real tedious, I'm real control freak. I like things. That's why I live by myself. You feel me? I don't like people in my space. You feel me? I don't like invite people. I'm a real control freak. But I also noticed, and this is from running the business, that I can't do everything myself. I can't. In order for me to be successful, I cannot do everything myself. I have to learn to ask for help, and then I have to also learn to accept the help. Those two different worlds right
Yeah,
there.
I've had
So
that conversation a few times. That was me back in the
Yeah,
day. That was literally me. Yeah.
we
yeah.
did have this conversation before, so this
Yeah, I have
goes
a
back
problem
to
with
the thing.
accepting help. I definitely do.
This goes back to the thing that I talked about before. If I never come to you and say, "Hey, Smooth, this is the problem, this is the situation," if I never give that to you to help me with, then I can't say that you couldn't handle that situation. So for me, it's like I have to respect the way that you move, or your opinion, or the way that you operate, or see what the results were from the situation that you had, you being whomever the person is, in order for me to bring the situation to you. That's why I said you gotta look around and see who can you give this to. Because there's certain people that I go to and say, what do you think about this? How would you move in this way? Because you're saying like that's going to ask for the help and receiving the help. It's one thing to ask the question, it's a totally different thing to listen to the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have those people who I go, because I respect the way that you move, I'm going to you with this. It's some people who is like, because I don't respect the way that you move and I see the results of the situation that you're getting, I don't want nothing to do with that way that you're gonna handle that shit. And for me, for most people, I said this on the episode before with Q, I respect the way that so few people move, that I don't have that many people who I would take things to, because it's like, even if you got a certain result, I don't even respect the way that you got that result. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, it's
No,
about the
no, yeah.
process. It's about the
But I
process
mean, I
too,
guess
not
that's the
just the result for me.
yeah. But I guess that's the scary thing, is that
But see, like me and Smooth,
not.
when
I
we had
guess
that
not scary.
conversation, and I
It's
said,
the. I guess what it is. It's the fact that I know I've been there. I've been there where I felt the same way. Like I think I might have mentioned this to you, Smooth, that I always felt like I was the smartest man in the room in a lot of places, and that's a very stressful place to be. I mean, when you think about it, when you come back from it, because sometimes you want to have more people that you can respect how they move, respect how they do what they do, or even just feel like that they're, at least if they're not smarter than you, they have a few things that they can do that you can't do, so you can complement each other. Because I don't have to have somebody that's better than me at computers. I know I'm going to more than likely be better than most. But when it comes to something else, I may say, oh, you're good at accounting, and I'm great at fixing computers. Now we get together, we can complement each other on this one thing, right? If you're good at selling systems, I'm good at fixing them. We can complement each other on that. But I think that what I found over the years was like, I would go through that too, where it would be like, I can't trust people to do either what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. either being it, at the level or quality I'm doing it, at the legality I'm doing it, at the with the same customer service I'm doing it at, and what I didn't realize is how stressful that was. And not to say that it was a stress that made me sick or that made me less productive or made me less successful. It's just at the end of it, I was like, dang, I really wish there was something better in that situation that would have allowed me to have either, like Smooth said, accepted help or felt more supported. You know what I'm saying? And in a way where I could have gotten some more things done. Like I could have fixed 2 more computers if I had somebody selling them, as well as I thought I could have somebody selling them, or whatever case may be. But to your point, Hype, I think what it is you do have to get to a point where you can be comfortable in that. And I pray that you get to that point, bro, because it's lonely at the top. I'm just going to warn you now. It's very lonely at the top. It's very lonely, and it gets old. You're still young. You still got a lot, that you're trying to do. And I mean, we can all admit on this show, you do it very well. But it's soon, I won't say soon, but at some point in your life, it's going to get tired. It's going to get old, and you're going to be like, damn, and I hope that you don't get to that point where it affects how you move later or how you do things later. But I definitely feel you. I've been there. I definitely been there. So I definitely understand what you're saying. I definitely understand the position you're in. I definitely get it.
Now this is something that I'm gonna say. I tell you this all the time, Willie, when we talk, because this is something, like I said, there's very few people that I have this respect for. All of that technical shit, and I ain't got a clue. If you the smartest nigga in the room, you got to get out of the building. Fuck the room. You got to know where your strengths and weaknesses are. And I always say, you part of the team, bro, because you know that shit and I don't. And you got to be, if you're going to want to be in a leadership position, you got to know when to follow. You got to know, like I said, I always will put people in the best position possible. And I know all of the technical computer shit, Willie got all of that. I ain't got to worry about that shit. I trust that Willie's going to handle that. And I ain't going to never worry about that shit because I know I got somebody there that I trust and I know that knows this shit because you've shown and proven to me that you got that. Smooth, I told this too. I love the way Smooth articulates himself. I love the way he makes his argument without getting out of character ever with his arguments.
Yeah,
I love the way that he expresses himself and the way that he carries himself. That's something again. So if I'm going to Smooth with something, then I know I'm going to love. I know I'm going to get it delivered to me in a way that I respect and I can respond to. But I can't do that with everybody. You have to be able to make those situations where you pick and choose. This goes to last week episode with where you can't just put your man in that position because that's your man. Your man has shown and proved that, and in my life, your man has always let you down in these situations. This is how I got to the spot. But this is how I got to the spot of, like I said, uncle and my dad go. I'm not the oldest in the family. I'm not the oldest male, but nobody else stepped up to that situation, which made me look at these niggas' character and the way that they move and all of that. And it made me go, damn, if you don't feel like somebody need to step into that spot, how can I respect that? How can I want to move that way? You know what I'm saying? So it's like life experiences. Like I said, you can't always run with everything that you got, but you got to pick and choose. That's why I tell people I pay attention to everything that happens around me. I pay attention to any and everything. If I text, for argument's sake, if I text you the link to the podcast and you have never one time told me anything about it, copy. I know that I'm gonna keep sending you this shit every week till you say something. Good, bad, and indifferent. But I know the people who text me back every week and say, yo, this is what I thought, or yo, this is what I like this, Joan. I need to get on and talk. I know all of that shit because I pay attention to everything, because everything is an opportunity for you to learn how to get better at this shit. And like I said, if I want to be in a position to tell you, Willie set the screen, Smooth come off the pick, Dame, you come over here and cut hard to the basket. If I want to put everybody in the best position, then I got to be able to see the game from every aspect.
Yep, no doubt. Let's go back to the topic at hand. I got one more question that popped up in here earlier. I think here it is right here. So again, from what Smooth was saying earlier, it doesn't have to be depression. It could be stress. It could be feeling anxiety. It could be feeling just overwhelmed, or it could be, just feeling tired from, or not tired, what's the word? Fatigued from the world. What are some of the strategies that you use to help get you back to normal? Let's start with Dane.
Laughter. Laugh your butt off. You ever had that one of those laughs that made you cry? Something really silly or whatever, something that's really just funny, brings you out your funk. Sometimes that can do it. Being a little bit
That's what Smooth was talking about last week with Martin.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes just doing something like something very creative, like something with writing, music, um, just doing something like that. Um, and back to I had to ask Hank this question since y'all were on that rant talking about you being business oriented and running everything. Um, what's that website that you go to for your
Well, if you go to
podcast? What was that?
if you go to at I am hype on Instagram, you will have the links in my bio to get the H2H cleaning. That is a tri-state area situation. If you make it worth my while, I will slide out to Detroit and make sure that your situation is all together and right. And if you hit the other link, it'll get you the Custom Hustle World, custom jerseys, jackets, t-shirts, sweatsuits, all of that. The jackets are one of one unless you buy four.
Okay,
That's
In the podcast, we
I was
only
gonna get
accept
that.
5 stars, not four.
the
I,
alley
I just
you.
I,
Yeah.
Slam
every
and
week.
dunk.
All right, go ahead, Smooth.
Laughter, of course. Obviously. I like it, and it also depends what I'm trying to get back to normal from.
Mhm.
Is how that stress has affected me. So if the stress made me angry, I might want to do something physical, as far as working out, you know, whatever it may be, something physical to get,
Wow,
Go to a
Sonny.
get
Philly
it.
game.
Just go ahead and say it,
Hold
sex.
up.
Yeah, we know.
I'm about to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
Sonny just
yeah,
threw up the eyebrow like the Rock. Are we going to just let that go? Okay.
We got.
So
Don't forget, we got Sex on Sunday 2 Fridays out the month
yeah,
at 6
two
p.m.
Fridays out the
That's
month,
another
Sunday,
made up
Sunday.
show.
Sex with Sunday.
Another
Yep.
made up show.
So
But yeah.
that those type of things help me get back to normal. Going for a walk, a walk always clears my mind. And music.
Yeah, that's a
And
good one.
music.
Yeah,
Sometimes
That's it.
a good conversation with somebody will bring you out of it. It doesn't have to be about what triggered you or what puts you in that mode. Sometimes a nice, open, honest conversation about whatever.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. Good point. Good point. Hank.
My bad. Give me the question again.
I'm
It's right
sorry.
there on the screen. It's
Oh,
on the
damn.
screen.
Are y'all talking to me?
No, Hank. Yeah, what are some strategies to help you get back to normal? Like if you having a bad day, if you having a day that you just feel like, fatigued, or you just feel like it's just been a crazy week, and you're like, I got to get back to normal.
80% of my joints is always money. Um, I was one of them things I told my wife. I said, I know I ain't gonna never. I don't even want to see like billions of dollars or nothing because that is just it's unnecessary. But I put so much emphasis on just money because you can't do shit in life without money. And something like I always try to tell my daughter, like, you gotta have a plan to be able to get the money. So shit. Knowing I got two jackets, a sweatsuit, couple sweatsuits or whatever, I got a job to do this weekend. Uh then that'll be like, all right, so now I got something else to focus on. I got something else to look at. I got something else that'll get me away from this shit. It's one of them things I always tell my wife, as long as I can make some money, then I'm cool. We go to work and we got an 18-hour shift. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Because this is how I'm gonna be able to make sure the lights is on, or you need whatever it is that you need. I know I'm gonna be able to take care of that shit as long as you got the money. So as long as I can get some money, then whatever the fuck the problem is not even a problem no more. Because now we focusing on the money. And how do we turn
Okay.
this 2 into 4?
No doubt, no doubt. Actually, I think Sunny mentioned that earlier. She said that work was her distraction from some of the things she would go through. So yeah, and actually for me too, that's one of the things I do. Not often because a lot of times I'm already doing it. It's just my regular thing. But like doing chores around my house, like it was so funny. I had a situation pop up a couple weeks ago. With the kids and stuff, and then it was just crazy at work. And I just was like, you know what? Instead of doing anything else, I was like, I'm just gonna clean my house. I had already just literally cleaned my house the weekend before, but I went and cleaned it again just because it just made me feel like I was like you said, Hank, it gave me something else to focus on. I go in there, and my favorite thing to do is like spray everything down in the bathroom and just wipe everything down, like just by hand. Like I don't do all the big mops and big things. I use like just a little hand scrubber and just scrub everything down. And then a lot of times I do my kitchen because I have like a kitchen dining room like that's connected. So I'll just do like the whole sweeping thing, the little floor, the little what's the name, the little wet mop thing.
Swiffer.
So I do like a lot of busy work that just keeps me, my mind basically it's stuff I could do on cruise control, basically. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm focusing on that, and I don't have to think about anything else that's going on that's probably stressed me out, but it's probably made me feel like, dang, like now I got to figure out how to get this done, get this person straight, get this person straight. I had everybody I got to lift up and figure out all their problems, and it's like for me, it's like that little outlet gives me something else to, that I don't have to think about. It's easy, it's simple, but it's focused work.
Since you said that, it's something that just triggered for me is cooking. Because
Bro, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
since as soon as he started talking about all that shit, I'm like, just headphones on, and now you just cutting up these potatoes,
Uh-oh.
boiling whatever the fuck you like. You get to
Right.
now. I'm all right. I know I'm gonna be in here for like 2 hours, so I know I ain't thinking about whatever the fuck is going on because you got to be paying attention to not end up cutting your son or some shit.
Yeah, we saw that, bro. That's crazy.
Nigga, that joint was crazy.
Apparently you
This
were
is crazy
stressed out
shit.
at some point.
Yeah,
We caught you
look.
now. We caught you. You were stressed.
Look, it ain't even a mark on my fucking
Oh, you still
thumbnail.
got the mark? Yeah. That ain't going
No,
away
I
for a
don't. It
while.
ain't no
If it go
markers.
away.
No, it ain't no mark. I said it's nothing there.
Oh, it's nothing. Oh, okay. Oh, you got lucky then.
Yeah, they'll go away eventually. I got it on my right here. Same thing that happened to him happened to me, right on my index finger. But that mark, because when you slice it good, it's just gonna held right back up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I say I ain't
Life
never did
back
none. I don't
piece.
be that stressed. I ain't never been that stressed. Now
Yeah.
back of my hand, I got some scars, but they don't go away. Them scars in the back of your head don't go away.
Oh, so you backhanding bitches? That's what you just told
And
us.
I guess another thing is, what I forgot to mention. I like to sit down sometimes when I feel stressed and like things are out of order. I sit down and I prioritize things. You feel me? And I dismiss things. Sometimes you gotta remove the clutter, not just from your surroundings, but from your mind and from, all right, I don't need to be doing this. This is unnecessary. This task, eliminate it from my life right now. You feel me? It serves no purpose. Because like quite a few of y'all done said tonight, sometimes we're going cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And then sometimes like them habits. So we'll get into just cruise control or habitual movements, not knowing the situation will change. So why are we still doing the same shit we was doing a month and a half ago? You feel me? Where the situation done changed. So just remove your reprioritize my life. That's one of the things I do to cope.
Good point. Sonny, did you have any other strategies that you use?
For me, it's more of getting away.
Okay.
Taking a break from everything. Whether it's going out, dancing is the number one thing for me. I'm go out and dance and my little cares away because I'm just having the best time of my life, so I don't really think about it. And doing something fun, be it just hanging out with the friends, going to get something to eat. Food always makes me happy. So especially when it's good food that I don't have to cook myself. I enjoyed that. So going out and getting out of my rut is always food is always an option for me. Or going out to somebody's bar, having a couple of good wings and dancing my little life away. It's definitely things for me. You eating wings right now?
I know I had wings earlier myself.
I just had a steak on Sunday. I felt lovely about it. I had a loaded baked potato and some very nice put together asparagus. So yes, that made me happy.
You have it with a glass of Chianti.
Yeah, I was in a funk, and that food made me happy. I was. So I clapped. I said, "My baked potato is coming." It's real and it's serious for me. Food is the way to my heart. I don't know what to tell anyone. That's like the number key way to get to me.
So food is the way that you can have sex with Sonny? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not the way you can have sex with money, but I actually talk to you if you feed me and it's good food. I'm good.
No doubt. All right. Any other comments before we wrap this show up?
Yeah. What's all these fake shows that you got at the bottom? We don't do those shows here.
It's so silly. We just did that show for sure.
Oh yeah, I apologize for my show. It's been that type of weekend, guys. So I am going to try to do a pre-record, but if not, I'll see you guys on, I think the 17th is that Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. So if worse comes worse, we'll see you on Friday, but hopefully I can get that show out before then.
Dang, we got to improve on our communication, brother, because at this point, if I don't hear from Dave, I'm like, all right, well, ain't no show then. And I know Dave probably be doing the same thing. Like, I don't hear from him.
Know, Dave, man, he got to. He can't even run a show. He needs your help.
Let's go, Chiefs.
Right. Exactly.
You talk crazy.
Okay, they do a physical activity right there.
I need y'all to give me pointers because I got my FanDuel account and I've been gambling and I've been almost making it. And some people have been messing up my ticket. So y'all got some insider knowledge. I need y'all to hand them over to me so I can get some money off of FanDuel because I already been winning the casinos.
Stop gambling. That's my advice.
I know, right? That's my advice. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Man, I won like $200 in the last couple of days on like Friday.
Fool's gold.
$200.
Yeah, but how much have you lost?
No, that's beside the point. But I put that as soon as I earned it, I put it right in I cashed out immediately. Get my money, put that in my account. Thank you so much.
She hit dang, but why you bringing up
show number 2?
Word up. You heard it? Word is Bob.
Show number 2 is
right off.
What?
I said, now see there. What? She just spent move right off that question.
But the thing is, show number 2 is why Sonny's so depressed because she has no money.
Right.
No, I ain't gonna be that type of like I'll gamble, but like that's like dollar. That ain't no. I ain't putting millions of dollars on no nonsense.
Notice a deja vu moment. Y'all notice a deja vu moment?
Why?
Y'all remember the same? Y'all remember the same conversation back from Blog Talk Radio? See, my memory's sharp.
Oh wow.
My memory's sharp. We ganged up because Sonny mentioned had gambling in. You remember that, Dane?
I don't gamble though.
Yeah,
I just recently started.
I wish I remembered that one. I do remember somebody having a conversation about gambling back in the past. I just can't remember what we were talking about.
But I didn't gamble back then. I'll do scratchies. That's about it.
And I know I've definitely mentioned on this show that I don't be doing it because I just know I'm gonna lose, and it's just no work. It's not even worth it.
Hey,
it makes me sad.
If I lose $5, I'm tapping out.
When he went to gamble.
What'd you say, Sonny?
I said I think I went with you that like when we had it, after we had it, we went to the casino.
Yep.
And I didn't gamble. I watched him gamble. I got free alcohol. I was excited about that.
Sonny was my good luck charm that night.
That part. I show up to the casino, you're gonna get some money. So I got myself some money this time. I was good.
Yeah, I won damn near $700 that night. Fucking with Sonny.
Right? I got one more thing for the show.
No.
About depression. If you check it.
Just mute you. Oh, God.
I thought he muted himself.
Me too. I thought he muted himself.
I thought he did that silence thing I said earlier.
Who said I did it? Y'all don't know if Willie did it.
I don't have the ability to mute him right now. I'm sitting up there trying to end the show.
Okay, real quick. if you join the conversation Facebook group chat, something very depressing I just posted about this black girl showing that she's R. Kelly and Leah's secret daughter,
You know
and she was
what?
trying to
Oh,
sing.
Yeah, I seen that earlier today. Yeah.
Oh, that's
That was
crazy.
depressing hearing her thing, but continue.
Right, right.
I ain't gonna get
Grover.
I ain't gonna get disrespectful, but as soon as you see her, you know damn well that ain't a little baby. So
Right. Terrible, terrible.
Maybe Andrea's baby. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Andrea. Yeah.
All right, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Willie?
All right, guys, it's your girl
I'm yellow.
_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and you can also follow me on TikTok, or you can catch me at unreservedlyme.com.
You already know it's your boy Smooth. You can catch me on Twitter all the damn time at eTrentGroomy. On Instagram, my new page, Mr. Wilson 11_11. And you can catch me on my blog at kingstruth.com and on Snap. I'm still on there at the King's Truth. Holla at your boy.
Those DMs are wide open, ladies. Out of Hustle Live Show, March 12th, 7 o'clock. Doors are at 6. At I Am Hype. Hit the link in my bio. Scan the QR code if you see the posters around town. Get those tickets now.
Sure, I'll be there.
I will
Copy
too.
that. Dame, unmute yourself.
I'm trying to lock into a sitter, so I'm trying to be there.
I am not doing this, but I am Dane at Another Level Up on Instagram, Shinlo21 on Twitch and Xbox Network, and Checkmate21 on TikTok. Have I ever signed back on?
Sure. And it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at stylesradio.com, listening to all the hot tracks, and williestyles.info for
For all his latest. For all, she muted herself too. For
She
all
muted
the
herself.
latest joints
Did he
that
take
Willie is
himself
listening
out?
to.
Yeah, I think he eliminated
the thing jumped in my way. The button hit the wrong button.
Dave, you over here messing up the rotation.
I know, right?
Oh, Willie ain't even home. I don't know why Willie's saying he in the building. He's not in the building. We used to him being in.
I'm in the other building.
I don't know where Smooth at, but I'm trying to figure it out because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that ceiling fan all year.
Me and Smooth over here. Me and Smooth over here moving around. We mobile. We mobile.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Don't worry about where we at. Worry about where y'all at.
Smooth at the wing
Why you think he ain't stressing so much, Sonny? Why you think he ain't stressing much, Sonny?
No,
He got something to work out on.
Anyway, make sure y'all go check us out on GFT Radio or gftradio.creator-spring.com. Get to merchandise. Everybody's got some different merchandise on, except for me. I don't have none on today, but I had some on Sunday or on Friday when I did the last show. So make sure y'all get the t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeves, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. We got over at Creator-Spring, as well as check out our socials, GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network on Facebook. Check out our website, GFTRadioshow.com, where you can get links to all of our socials, as well as our live shows or replay shows. Make sure you do that, or listen free on demand on all your major platforms. And until next time, we will see you guys later. And as soon as I can find this Bud video.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Perspective, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTradioshow.com for all of our audio and video playbacks, as well as links to all of our social